What a race we had at British Grand Prix. And guys, for the first time in so many years, we saw Lewis Hamilton crying, including his race engineer Bono. It was such an emotional moment to watch. Lots of things happened at this race, so many race leaders and so many overtakes. At one point of time, it was looking like Max would finish beyond P5, but kudos to their strategies. They were able to bring him back to the fight for the podium, and another 3-4 laps, then he would have been able to overtake Lewis Hamilton. Hard luck for George, pole sitter went DNF due to water leakage issue. So guys, let's discuss what British GP taught us. Let's start with the Red Bull. Another race with only one driver. Sergio Perez did not even finish in top 10. We have reached the halfway of the season, and if Red Bull wants to fight for the constructors, then they must take the call right now. Sergio Perez needs to step up his game. Otherwise, championship is at risk. It is for the first time in 2 years, Red Bull garage is looking so tense. It is clear that the upgrades they have brought are not working. They just don't have the pace to keep up with the McLarens. The team is under immense pressure and we can notice the mistakes being made by them. Max Verstappen started to make mistakes, their pit crew started to make mistakes, and generally we don't see these things happening with the Red Bull. At British GP, both the pit stops made by them were on the spot, which was the key to Max Verstappen finishing at P2. Next week, Liam Lawson will be testing RB20. Post that, we might see some serious decision being made at Red Bull Garage. Coming to the McLarens, guys, what I think, this was the team who had the potential to finish 1-2 at British GP. They just screwed their race by themselves. All the calls made by them was not at the right time, also messed up at pit stop. Both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri had the pace to finish 1-2. At first stint, we could see how strong they were, both the drivers overtaking Max Verstappen very easily. Oscar was not able to overtake Carlos Sainz at the second half and spoiled his race. If he would have overtaken Carlos Sainz, then he could have put Max Verstappen under pressure. Though McLaren is the team who earned most points in British GP, but keeping in mind Mercedes and Red Bull only had one driver fighting. McLaren had two. They just couldn't use them properly. Might be this is the first time in so many years that McLarens are fighting so frequently that I think it's too early for them to adapt to the situation and react. I guess this is the 4th or 5th race for Lando where he had issues in first lap. Although he comes back attacking after 4-5 laps, but at initial stages he slips away. The calls he made during the last pit stop for soft tires costed him P2. He was seen disappointed in the post-race interview. If he would have gone with medium or hard tires, then he could have won the race. Let's talk about Mercedes. What a race by Lewis Hamilton. He was able to keep the soft tires in good condition as compared to Lando. Mercedes, with gradual upgrades, is back on top. Their car in cooler condition tend to work well compared to McLaren and the Red Bull. They can bring the tires in correct temperature faster than anyone, which helps them to generate massive advantage. Hard luck for George Russell. He had a good race start, however, as soon as rain started, he slipped away. Mercedes, also like Red Bull, were bang on strategies. They were able to judge the condition well and react accordingly. A very emotional race for Lewis Hamilton and his team. Last win for Lewis was at 2021 Saudi Arabian GP. That's quite a long time for 7-time world champion. This win for Lewis Hamilton is very crucial for him and Mercedes. It will boost his morale, and lately there were many questions regarding his move to Ferrari. Now after Ferrari, Mercedes is the team where both the drivers got the win. Coming to Ferrari, a complete failure of a race by Charles. Slowly Ferrari's ship is starting to sink. Since Canada, Ferrari is on the back foot. Their upgrades are not working, and to make it more worse, their strategy is meaningless. Even they had 3 practice sessions to use at British GP, they were not able to utilize it to its max. Both the drivers were running different spec cars in all the practice session. Sainz sticking to Imola spec and Charles running on Spanish spec. However, in qualifying they shifted Charles to the Imola spec car, which ruined his quali as he didn't do many runnings on the spec. We all know that Ferrari didn't have the pace to compete with Mercedes, McLaren or Red Bull. Then what's the point on going so aggressive on the strategy? They were running on 6th and 7th position, and that is the maximum they could have got on British GP, being the 4th best team on the grid. Charles had a good start, though it took time for him to overtake Stroll. Pit stop made by him was a complete disaster. Carlos Sainz, his teammate, was saying that track is dry and no need for the inters. However, Charles went for the inters. I don't think now they should fight for the constructors anymore. They should now fully focus to protect themselves from Mercedes because they are coming after them. Leclerc in last 5 races including sprint combined earned lesser points compared to Nico Hülkenberg in Haas. and this shows a complete failure of the team. Let's see if they will be able to bounce back or not. So guys, that's all for now. See you all in my next video. Until then, like, share, subscribe. Take care. Bye.